Have you ever wondered how Charles Dickens, one of the greatest novelists of the Victorian era, used his pen to challenge societal norms and champion social reform? Let's embark on a journey to the 19th century, to the heart of Victorian England, where Dickens's vivid storytelling and memorable characters came to life. Born in the year 1812, Dickens' early life was marked by hardship and adversity. His experiences with poverty, coupled with the harsh realities of the Industrial Revolution, deeply influenced his perspective and shaped his narratives. As a young man, Dickens worked in a blacking factory while his father was in debtor's prison. The stark inequalities and social injustices he witnessed during this time found their way into the heart of his stories, painting a vivid picture of Victorian England's underbelly. Through his novels, Dickens rose to prominence, emerging not just as a renowned author, but also as a formidable social critic. His works, such as Oliver Twist and A Christmas Carol, were more than just tales of fiction. They were a mirror reflecting the grim realities of poverty, child labor, and class disparity. Dickens's narratives fearlessly exposed these harsh conditions, challenging the comfortable illusions of Victorian society. His stories were filled with characters who reflected the everyday life of the common man, characters who struggled, triumphed, and sometimes even fell through the cracks. Through their stories, Dickens brought to light the pressing issues of his time, urging his readers to question the status quo. From a young age, Dickens recognized the stark disparities that defined Victorian society, leading him to craft narratives that would challenge these norms. His works echo with the calls for empathy, compassion, and social reform, making him one of the most influential social critics of his time. So, join us as we delve deeper into the captivating world of Charles Dickens, a world where literature meets societal critique, a world where the power of a pen brings about change. Dickens's novels, while entertaining, were far from mere escapism. They were a reflection of the harsh realities of the time. Dickens was not one to shy away from the grim and grueling aspects of Victorian society, and his works are a testament to this. Take Oliver Twist, for example, where he unflinchingly portrays the grim realities of the workhouses and the harsh treatment of the poor. In the character of Oliver, we see the plight of countless children forced into labor, living in abject poverty and devoid of any semblance of childhood. Dickens paints a vivid picture of the bleak prospects faced by those born into the lower tiers of society. Similarly, in A Christmas Carol, Dickens presents us with the character of Ebenezer Scrooge, a man so consumed by his wealth that he has lost all sense of compassion and humanity. Through Scrooge's transformation, Dickens critiques the greed and self-interest prevalent among the wealthy class, urging them to consider their moral responsibilities towards the less fortunate. But Dickens's social criticism was not limited to these two novels. Throughout his body of work, he consistently highlighted the stark disparities between the rich and the poor, the privileges of the upper classes, and the struggles of the working class. His work served as a stark reminder of the social injustices that were rampant in Victorian society. In his novels, Dickens presented a mirror to society, a mirror that reflected its flaws and inconsistencies. He used his storytelling to question the status quo, to challenge the norms, and to call for change. His vivid descriptions and memorable characters brought the harsh realities of the Victorian era to the forefront of public consciousness, making it impossible to ignore. Through his vivid storytelling, Dickens urged readers to confront and question the society they lived in. He demonstrated that literature could be more than just a form of entertainment. It could be a tool for social criticism, a means to provoke thought and inspire change. And in doing so, he left an indelible mark on literature and society, the effects of which are still felt today. Dickens's social criticism wasn't confined to the pages of his novels. It had a profound impact beyond literature. Charles Dickens, one of the most celebrated authors of the Victorian era, was unafraid to use his literary prowess as a platform for social commentary. But his influence didn't stop there. His work resonated far beyond the realm of fiction, inspiring real-world change. Dickens's piercing observations of society's ills, coupled with his engaging storytelling, brought pressing social issues into the spotlight, making them impossible to ignore. His narratives, rich with vivid detail and complex characters, painted an unflinching portrait of the stark realities of Victorian England. This was a world where poverty, child labor, and class disparity were rampant, where the divide between the haves and the have-nots was vast and seemingly insurmountable. But Dickens didn't merely expose these issues, he challenged them. His work was a call to arms, a plea for empathy, understanding, and ultimately, reform. He urged his readers to not just acknowledge the injustices around them, but to actively work towards making a difference, and make a difference he did. Dickens's work sparked conversations, debates, and even legislation aimed at social reform. His novels brought about a heightened awareness of the plight of the poor, the working conditions of children, and the stark divide between the classes. His vivid depictions of these conditions prompted a societal shift, a growing demand for change that would shape the future of England. Moreover, Dickens's legacy inspired future generations of writers to use their craft as a tool for social critique. His work paved the way for authors like George Orwell and John Steinbeck, who would also use their narratives to shed light on societal issues and advocate for change. Dickens paved the way for literature to be not just a form of entertainment, but a tool for social change. Today, as we read Dickens's novels, we are reminded of the power of storytelling to provoke thought, to inspire action, and to effect real change. And in doing so, we honor the legacy of Charles Dickens, a man whose words continue to echo through the ages, challenging us to strive for a better, more equitable world. Over a century later, Dickens's works remain as relevant as ever, continuing to resonate with readers worldwide. The issues he tackled, poverty, inequality, and social injustice, are not confined to the pages of his books or the era in which he lived. They persist today, making Dickens's social criticism just as pertinent in our contemporary world. Dickens's novels unflinchingly expose the harsh realities of Victorian society, but they also serve as a call to action. His vivid depictions of the struggles faced by the less fortunate are a stark reminder of the disparities that still exist in our world today. He prompts us to question the status quo, to empathize with those who are suffering, and to strive for a more equitable society. In the sprawling metropolises of today, much like the London of Dickens's time, we can still see glaring social inequalities. The wealth gap continues to widen, and many are left to grapple with poverty and hardship. Dickens's works remind us of our collective responsibility to address these issues, to advocate for those who are marginalized, and to push for social reform. The power of Dickens's social criticism lies in his skillful storytelling. He makes us feel for his characters, to understand their plights and root for their triumphs. This emotional connection is what inspires us to take action. It's what keeps Dickens' legacy alive, spurring readers to champion social justice and equality. Dickens' novels also remind us that change is possible. His stories are filled with characters who transform, who learn to empathize with others, and who work towards creating a better world. These narratives of change and redemption inspire hope, encouraging us to believe in the possibility of social reform. So, as we turn the pages of Dickens's novels, we are not just reading stories set in Victorian England. We are engaging with timeless social critiques that continue to challenge us, to open our hearts, and to inspire us to strive for a more just society. Dickens' novels serve as a reminder of the power of storytelling to provoke empathy and inspire change. As we delve into Dickens's world, we're not just reading stories, we're engaging with a powerful social critic whose words continue to challenge us today. With each page turned, With each character met, we're stepping into the shoes of the underprivileged, the forgotten, the downtrodden. We're seeing Victorian England through the eyes of a man who dared to reveal its grim realities. The world of Dickens is not just a relic of the past. It's a mirror held up to our own society, reflecting the lingering echoes of inequality, injustice, and poverty. His works are a testament to the enduring power of literature to catalyze social reform, to spark conversations, to inspire empathy, and to motivate action. But this journey does not end with the last page of a Dickens novel. It's only the beginning. It's a call to action, a challenge to each of us to carry forth the spirit of Dickens's advocacy in our own lives. Each of us has the power to effect change, to challenge the status quo, to strive for a more equitable and compassionate society. So let's pick up a Dickens novel. Let's immerse ourselves in his world, feel the pulse of Victorian England, and grapple with the social issues he exposes. Let's be moved by his vivid characters, his compelling narratives, his sharp critique of society. Let's allow his words to stir us, to provoke thought and spur action. And as we turn the pages of Dickens's works, let's also turn the pages of our own story. Let's reflect on our role in shaping society, on the changes we can effect, on the injustices we can challenge. Let's be inspired by Dickens's boldness and empathy, and let's carry forward his legacy of social criticism in our own ways. Let's keep the spirit of Dickens's advocacy alive in our own pursuits for a better tomorrow. Until next time, keep turning the pages of history.